All right, Cayla, I am super excited to have you here today. Are you excited?
I am so excited.
All right, so I am so excited because you have done amazing things. You've sold over $500 million in product in the health and wellness industry, right? Mm-hmm. You've created the Mommy Millionaire brand, right? Mm-hmm. So this is where you get to brag about yourself, because the reason you're here is because you're awesome and you're a rock star. So I want you to tell the world the amazing things you've done and what you're doing today.
You know what? I've done a lot of things, but I think the thing I am most proud of is the fact that I have 3 kids that are 9, 7, and 4, and they light up my life, and everything that I do is for them. I had a very different childhood than they are currently experiencing, and so I work so hard just to show them that anything is possible. I've done things like I used to be an ER nurse, so I've saved lives. Okay?
Yeah, love it.
And then I got started in network marketing, and that's where I sold the health and wellness supplements, and that really gave me a lot of experience in order to be successful in what I'm doing now, which is, business strategizing, consulting with brands all over the world, and helping women experience more and more financial freedom. So
you interviewed me on your Mommy Millionaire podcast,
yes.
And I had a great time, and I just love everything you're doing. And for me, like, my big following, let's just be real, is a female following. I think it's close to 80% of my following is female. And what do? You help females become super successful at whatever it is they want. And one thing I know about you is you're able to achieve the successes that you've achieved is because you have a positive mindset.
Absolutely.
And having a positive mindset, it's not easy. People don't realize not everybody's happy and positive. It's hard work. It's discipline. It's dedication. But before we get to the nuts and bolts of, your wonderful positive mindset and this amazing career you've built and this wonderful family of yours, why don't you tell the people listening in about Cayla, early on, Cayla? What was life like? How did you get to where you got? Because everybody's dying to know.
So, in order to understand why I'm so ambitious and driven, you have to understand where I came from. And, when I was 7 years old, my dad went to jail and my mom became a single mother. And everything changed for me then. That was when my innocence was basically stripped away from me. And I had to kind of grow up very quickly.
At 7?
Mm-hmm. And then my mom declared bankruptcy when I was 8. And I remember breaking my arm when I was 8 years old. And knowing that we didn't have health insurance, I was like, Mom, don't take me to the ER, And I remember that look in her eyes. It was just one of shame. And you have kids, so could you imagine your kids telling you that?
Heartbreaking.
Right? And so I remember that look, and I knew right then and there that I was never going to struggle financially. And I knew I was going to help women find a way to experience financial success. I used to think I was going to be a lawyer and fight for the single moms to get child support.
I like that.
But it ended up, being something completely different. But, if you don't have your dad in your life, daddy issues is a real thing.
Yeah.
And I grew up thinking that I was unlovable. So I worked really, really hard to always prove that I was somebody worth loving. Right? And there's a lot of women out there that struggle with that. They might have a dad, but maybe he's an absent dad that's not there for them. And, so a lot of women, they struggle with that, am I lovable? Am I worthy of success? And so I just work every single day to try to prove to people that what you do isn't what makes you worthy of success.
Right. So one amazing thing about you. So you're right. So many people struggle early on in life and early on in their childhood. Mm-hmm. The difference is with you is that you literally redefined who you were, and you built the life you're living. Let's just be real. That little girl wasn't meant to live this amazing life you're living. Everything aligned. It was your hard work, your tenacity, your skills. And how long were you on your own, just you and your mom?
Oh gosh, then my mom ended up remarrying, and I hated my stepdad. So then there's anger can fuel you, right?
I know all about that.
So I had just a lot of just this urge to make something of myself. I started working out when I was 10 years old. I was a babysitter, and then I used to I do stuff for under the table. Yeah. I used to strip expiration stickers off of toothpaste and put new ones on. I found out that was illegal later, but I just did whatever I could to make money. So then when I was 16 years old, I remember I would give cash to my dad, who was a drug addict still, trying to get love from him. And there was a lot of things that I did. But by the time I was 21, I was a charge nurse in the ER. So I was just very dedicated, and I knew okay, I'm just going to work hard, and I can have whatever I want if I worked hard. That was my belief.
how in the world did you become a charge nurse at the age of 21 in the ER?
I know.
Because how did that happen? Like, what do you start? Like, when did you start going to school for that?
Yeah, so in high school, I actually started to go to school for becoming a nurse.
In high school?
Yeah. I was in this like certain academy because, again, I was like very driven that I was not going to struggle. And somebody told me that if you became a nurse, then you were always going to have a job. And so that's why I chose nursing. And then by the time I was 21, my manager at the time saw leadership skills in me, of course. And I sounded braggy, but
No. Hey, I'm sorry. We are here to brag. Like, you've done some amazing stuff. And the reason we're here is because I want you to brag, because whatever you brag about, it's going to inspire and motivate someone. And the only reason we're doing this is to help change someone's life.
That's right.
So I want you to tell everybody all the badass things you've done, because you worked your ass off and you deserve everything you have.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So when I was 21, I started doing that. And then at 23, I just found myself kind of like, I looked around at all these nurses and doctors that I was around every single day, and none of them were happy. All of them were like miserable, complaining about money. And I'm just like, if I want to be like them, then I have to continue down the same path. But if I want something different, I have to do something radically different, right? And like at an early age, I had been exposed to personal development because I was always like, I just knew the power of a positive mindset. And so I would read, starting at 18 years old, I would just read a ton about, okay, the power of the mind, whatever I think I become. So at 23, I got involved in network marketing. And again, at that point, I had no idea how to do it, but I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire. And so I went around and told everybody I was going to be a millionaire, which you guys have probably been around people that have done that, right? And you're like, okay, they're crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy. I did not care. And that was the difference, I think.
That is the biggest difference, because I was just like you. I would scream to the world what I was going to be, because I knew and I believed that I could do it, just like you knew and believed you could do it.
Yeah.
So what I find interesting about you, like, I know, like, growing through high school and all these odd jobs you did, it was like every day was a grind, even at a young age, right? Do you remember being like 13, 14 years old and felt like you were grinding at that young age?
Yeah. I loved it, though.
I know. I loved it, too. And then, so when you got into network marketing, because it is one of the most difficult businesses in the world. It really, really is. Because myself, I've been involved in network marketing at a young age, too.
Yeah.
And I did not have the success that you had. Mm-hmm. So how did you go from being a charge nurse to getting into the network marketing? And then how long did it take before you started making money? Because that's what people are dying to know. Like, how fast did you change your life?
Well, I like to say that I'm an anomaly, right? So at 23, I was already making six figures as a nurse, which is not normal at 23. Right. And then within 6 months, I started making six figures in my company.
In network marketing?
So here's the thing. And I was in a really good company too, by the way. But what I did was people follow people with a vision. Right? Like, you think about all the massive leaders out there in the world, even if it's a wrong vision, people will follow you. I had this massive vision, and I just told everybody about it, which was inspiring, and people followed me and they wanted to be a part of it. And so that's how my business just really took off quickly.
So how did you actually build the business that fast? Because I know you're a charge nurse, right? And network marketing.
I was also a nursing instructor at a local college. So talk about no time. Yeah. But I gave myself a checklist, and I was like, okay, these are the 12 things that you have to do every single day. I'm actually writing a book on it right now. These are the 12 things you have to do every single day in order to make six figures in your life. And so I gave this to my entire downline. I was just like, hey, you guys do these things while I'm at work, right?
Love it.
And I did not go to sleep at night unless those 12 things were done. And then I just started having events. I started traveling all over the place. I eventually went to part-time and then to barely working.
Weren't you scared when you were first pitching other people to join your home-based business?
No.
How did you get rid of that fear? Because the biggest problem people have, and the reason people don't become successful, is because they're scared. They're scared of no. They're scared of loss. Like, how did you get through that?
Because they're focusing on the wrong thing. Like, if I would have focused on the fear, then of course I would feel it and I would be paralyzed. But I never focused on something that I didn't want. My mom taught me at a very young age, you only speak what you want to, be real in your life. She took it to the extreme. Like, if we were sick, we weren't allowed to say we were sick. Okay?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was like,
so mom wasn't messing around.
Yeah. It was very ingrained in me. And so I just knew that, like, whatever I wanted to be true, I said that out loud and I just did the action to go along with it. And so I never, ever, ever mess around with fear. Like, if something comes up, I just look at it and I say, does this serve me? No. Okay. I'm not paying attention to it. Right.
I love it. And let me ask you this, because everybody, when did you know you were making it? Like, at what point did you look at your downline, or did you see your commissions coming in? At what point you were like, holy shit, my entire life I've been working for this, I made it? When did that happen?
I don't know if that ever happened, to
Really?
be honest with you. Like, I still don't feel like I've made it.
No, me neither. We'll never feel like we've made it
Yeah.
because there's always more. But there's always that first point where you said, I've made it into the world I want to be in.
Yeah, I think when I made my first $1 million in commission, yeah, that was like, okay, I can do this. I know what I'm doing.
What a feeling.
Yeah.
It was amazing, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
So now you're killing it, direct network marketing, $500 million in products sold. You started your family, you have 3 kids, like you have all these things. So what caused you to make the transition from doing that business, which has been wildly successful for you, to the Mommy Millionaire brand?
Well, because I had all these people that were asking me to help them, but I was so focused in just like my company, and I just felt kind of like constricted. And I was like, all right, if I want to reach the world, if I want to reach the masses, I have to like brand myself differently. So that's when we created Mommy Millionaire. And I am like so obsessed with this community just because it's full of, 50% of the people aren't married or have kids.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of single people in it, but there's a lot of people that felt alone in where they're like telling their dreams to people. And I call those like, they were saying them to the dream stealers, right? The people that...
The naysayers.
Right.
The 99% of the population.
Right. The people that have tried something and it didn't work for them, and so they try to like talk you out of it because it's going to not work for you too, right? So I was like, we need to have a community of people where you can come and share your dreams and everybody's going to uplift you and encourage you. And so it just fires me up every single day to like see everybody just help one another get to the next level.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's all mindset. And like I talk about mindset all the time because your mindset is like your most powerful asset.
Yeah.
Because if you believe in yourself, you're going to do what it takes to get what you want. Like if you have a negative mindset, you're not going to make those sales calls. You're going to think people are going to say no. You're going to be scared to start businesses. You're going to be scared to go on a podcast like this. Like for most people, this is scary stuff. And I love the fact that you just believe in yourself, especially with the childhood you had. I mean, that was some tough things you went through.
Right.
So to see the turnaround you've done, it's absolutely amazing. So I've been following you for a while now. I love your brand. I love everything you do. So what is next with the Mommy Millionaire brand? Is there anything new and exciting you're currently working on?
Well, what's coming up is we're going to create a coaching certification program. So a bunch of Mommy Millionaires will be able to go through the program and then be certified Mommy Millionaire coaches. Awesome. So that'll just help me with the ripple effect because our mission is to help 1 million women become millionaires. And so I need a lot of help in doing that, right? And a lot of people need coaches and stuff. So right now we're creating that, and that'll be launched 2020. And the next thing we have coming up is a live event that I do every single year. And that's like my most favorite thing because I don't know if you've been, well, you do seminars and stuff. But at events, it's just like that's where you just get energized.
Energy. And all those people are there and they're excited and they appreciate you and all the work you do. And, you know, everything you do is really, obviously, it helps yourself. But at the end of the day, like, it helps them, too. And I know you personally now. I know it's really satisfying to watch someone else succeed, especially when you know how difficult it is to become successful.
Oh, my gosh. It's everything. Especially when you see somebody at the beginning and their mindset is just jacked.
Yeah.
And then they are, like, believing in themselves and they're unstoppable. And I'm like, that is the best feeling in the world.
Okay, so you've always had the positive mindset. And you've always had the mindset of, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can make it. Which I always had the exact same thing. But the difficult part, because a lot of you guys have the mindset that you can make it. The difficult part is, how do you actually make it?
Right.
How do you do it? Like, I struggled with not knowing what to do, and it drove me nuts because every single day I obsessed on success, and I just thought about it over and over and over, and I just didn't know how to get there. So how did you figure that out?
Yeah, and I think I would say that is what I struggled with the most was like the doubt of how to do this. Like, how do you actually make $1 million? How does that work? And a lot of people get stuck in that how. And the best thing to do when you're stuck in that how is to ask yourself, who do I want to be? 10 years from today, who do I want to be? And the answer for me was, okay, I want to be somebody that is an amazing mom, that's an amazing wife, and that's making millions of dollars a year, and is helping a lot of people at the same time, and is just living a life just of happiness and freedom, okay? Yeah. So that was like, who do I want to be? And so all of you guys listening in right now, you can ask yourself that same question. Who is it that you truly want to be when it comes to like any desire in your mind, okay? And then you have to basically show up as that person today. Right? So how does this person that you want to be solve the problem that you're faced with today? What would they do if they were asked how? Oh, well, they would just do this, right? You all of a sudden get all the answers because now you know who you want to be. And so it's super easy to just fall into action when you know who you're going to become.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they get scared. It's like, I want to make $1 million a year, or and then once you get there, you want to make 5 million, and then 10 million, then whatever it might be, right? But a lot of people, they'll set the goal and they'll think about the how, and it seems like such a big mountain to climb. They never do anything. So I'm always big on going back to basics and scheduling and doing those small things. Yeah. But for you, I'm just so inspired by your story, because like you've done amazing things and you did them in a really short period of time. So it's incredible that you're able to do that. Like it really is. Like I'm obsessed with you. I love everything you do. I'm inspired by you, and you actually motivate me. You motivate me a lot to get my brands growing. You motivate me to work harder, to believe in myself, and that's why I'm really excited to have you on the podcast. Not, your Mommy Millionaire brand, you're female. I have a big female audience, and I know that there's one person out there listening or watching that you're going to help, that's going to change their life. So I'm super excited about it.
Well, yay. And for those people, those women especially that are listening, and I think there's a lot of guys that struggle with it too, is how you start your day is really telling of how your life will be in 5 to 10 years. So a lot of women, they wake up in the morning and then they look in the mirror and they go, oh God, it's still her, right? I mean, no joke, they do. And there's something negative. A lot of people are critics of themselves. And I think you could be a good critic or you could be a bad critic. And if you're stuck in criticism mode first thing in the morning, your whole day is ruined, okay? So if you could wake up in the morning and say something nice to yourself, I talk a lot about mirror work. So if you could wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I love you, I love you. And it really humanizes yourself. And you start to go, okay, I want to do things that are actually loving for my body. And it changes every decision you make throughout the day.
Okay, so it's all about positive mindset, right? So do you actually still do this every day?
Every single day.
And how does it help you? Why do you think it helps you? And why do you think people should do it?
Because a lot of times we have all of these thoughts in our mind, right? They're just going everywhere. Like, maybe not you, but most people, right? Oh my gosh. It's like, what the heck? It's like a drunk monkey in your head, okay?
Yeah, 5 of them.
There's 5 drunk monkeys up there. And so when you can just stop for a moment, look yourself in the eyes like you're an actual human being. You're not this crazy drunk monkey up here. And tell yourself, I love you. I believe in you. You are worthy of success. All of a sudden, you start to say it over and over again. And like sometimes it takes 300 times of saying this in the mirror. All of a sudden, your body relaxes and you actually believe it. When you believe in yourself, when you believe that you're worthy, when you actually love yourself, you do act different throughout the day. Most people are going around in reactive mode, right? So they're just like, hit after hit, and they don't know how to handle their day. But if you can go in like proactively and just being like, I love myself, I'm going to do this because I know I'm capable and I'm worthy of this success, you attract people that are going to help you get to the next level. Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm going to share something with you right now, which I've never shared before. So for me, the majority of my life, I looked in the mirror and I hated what I saw. I beat myself up every day. Every morning I woke up when I was trying to become successful. I had a positive mindset that I was going to make it and had the work ethic, but I hated myself and I hated the fact that I wasn't successful. I hated the fact that I felt like I was behind. And for many, many years, I didn't like myself because I felt like a failure, even though I wasn't, but that was a mindset issue. So I didn't really truly start loving myself as a person until recently, and I can say that my life has improved tenfold, and I'm a huge believer in loving yourself, believing in yourself. So I love the affirmation. So I'm actually going to try doing these affirmations. It feels good. It feels good to feel good, And so many people beat the shit out of themselves. Like, stop doing that crap. Like, feel good. Like, everybody's awesome in their own special way. Everybody's great at something, So people need to understand that they really need to have self-love. Absolutely. And there's universal laws at play. So there's the law of vibration. So anytime you're talking bad about yourself, you're actually at a very low vibration, which, especially if you're in the people business, you're attracting the not so good people into your life. And so you just have to constantly remember that you're an energetic being. And so when you put good stuff out there, you're raising your vibration and good things are coming to you. I love it. And people always ask me, like, how do you get started? What's the first step? And I always say the first step is the first step. Like, literally down to the basics. Like, anyone that wants to change their life and do something different, if you have that mindset issue, wake up tomorrow and start with those affirmations. Like, believe in yourself. Tell yourself you're amazing because you really are. Yes. Right? Right? We're all amazing. We're all special creatures in our own special way. Yes. All right. So what I find interesting, actually, I was interviewing Ed Milet the other day, who is a huge superstar in the business world. And
he made a comment to me. He said that you can see in other people's eyes if they've experienced pain and struggle in their life. And like when I look at you, like I see that in your eyes, and you've had so many obstacles to overcome and so many hurdles you've overcome. So a lot of people will take that pain in their life and it will just bury them, right? And they'll never rebound, and they'll never truly live a life they could live. So how did you take all these negative things, breaking your arm, telling your mom you didn't want to go to the doctor, your dad going to prison, working at a young age? Like, how did you take all these negative things and how did you turn it around to help you become successful?
You know, I remember when I was 17 years old, I went into one of the drug houses that my dad would go and hang out at. And I'm like 17, blonde hair.
You went into the
yes,
house?
I was crazy. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. And I went in to find him, and I found him, and I said, "Come, you're coming with me." And he slammed the door in my face. And at that moment, it was like this it still like makes me emotional today.
Of course.
Because I'm just like, gosh, how could you do that to your own kid? And I knew when he slammed the door in my face, I was like, you know what? All of this pain that I've gone through is not going to be like for nothing. I'm going to help so many people, you know? And so, you know, from that moment forward, I was all about sharing my story. Before, I was kind of like, I didn't want people to know that my dad was a drug addict in and out of jail, like, because I thought, oh, they would think I was that way, right? So a lot of us carry shame for no reason. Yeah. So that day I decided, you know what, I'm taking that off of me. It's heavy to carry. And I'm just going to share my story. And I'm going to share like, okay, look, if I can do this, you can do this. If a girl from the hood, you know, can get out and follow her dreams, anybody can. And so I just started to like find like little places to share my story and just hope that, you know, it would motivate somebody. And then all of a sudden, now it's motivating the masses, but everybody has their mess. And it doesn't have to be as dramatic as mine, right? It could be anything. It could be just like your dad not believing in you, you know, that you did bad at a sports game or something, right?
It's just like one of those things like where people like, you're very easy to understand where you're doing all these amazing things because you really believe in what you do. So you're not doing this just to sell products. Like, you believe in the society you're building. You believe in changing lives for women out there. You believe in creating these millionaires. And of course you benefit along the road, but you love what you do. So, I mean, I just love the fact that you went through some really hard stuff and it really helped you get to where you got. So what keeps you going today, though? Because you've done these great, big, amazing things. Yeah. You just want to spread the word even more.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be super rich, and I want to help other people be extremely wealthy. And here's the thing is, like, I know what it's like to live a life of less, right? To not have enough and to always be told no, to be the underdog. And I know that there's millions and millions of people out there that feel less right now. And I will not stop until they feel more, right? And so that's really what motivates me. And just the other night, I was up late rewatching some of my coaching sessions, and I'm like sitting there crying because these girls, I'm just like, oh my gosh, if you could see what I see, you would not even be saying this out loud right now, right? And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to continue to study and create more and more tools to help them, because I know everybody wants business strategy. They want to know how, right? But if I can help them have the most amazing foundation in their mind, the how will never be a problem. It'll always figure itself out. I just have to help them have a better foundation. So I'm just working towards that.
I love that. So here's the thing. If you have someone that doesn't have the right mindset, but they have the how, they're never going to make it. You can know how to do it, but you're just never going to do it because it's difficult. But if you don't know how, but you have the right mindset, you're going to figure out how. Oh, absolutely. So let me ask you this. So people ask me this question all the time. You said you want to be super rich. People, there's so many negative like thoughts on money. Like, ooh, money's the devil. Bullshit. It's not. Money's fun and it's nice. It's nice to have. It's nice to be comfortable, right? Like, let's just be honest. And you know what? Money doesn't make you happy. People say that all the time, right? But not having money makes you miserable.
Absolutely.
Let's just be real. I mean, I've had days where I couldn't buy lunch. So that's just how it is. So why, like, what is still driving you? Like, you want to be super rich, but why is that? It's just because it's a goal. Because I know you're.
Well, yeah, because there's still things that I am saying no to because I don't have the money to it, right? Like, I would like next summer, I'm like, I want to go on a 4-month vacation with my kids, and I want to take off the entire time. At this point in my life, I can't take off 4 months out of the year to have what I want, right? But that's a goal of mine, to where I could just like seriously just vacation the entire time.
So here's what it is. It's not about the money.
No.
So you want to create a life where you have the ability to do anything you want, anytime you want, based on what you want to do.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm going after. And money helps you get there.
Exactly. And I think like the reason why I called myself the Mommy Millionaire was to call out the elephant in the room. Everybody gets so uncomfortable when you start talking about money.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't we just normalize it? Because the most divorces happen over money, and most like friendships will end over money. I lost my best friend because I couldn't pay rent to her when I was 20 years old, and that sucked, right? If I had money, I wouldn't have lost a best friend. There's lots of things that money can fix. And growing up, because I saw all these problems, I always thought, okay, if we had money, none of this would be happening right now. That was my structure. So that's like in my DNA, right? Like to me, money solves problems. And now that I have it, it does solve a lot of problems.
Money doesn't solve everything, but it does solve a lot.
It does. It does.
It really does.
And I just want people to just like not stress about, you know, how to pay the bills. I want them to put their creative energy on how to change the world, right? And so when we help more people get good money in their hands, then that's really when the world's going to change.
And they just have to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
That's it. What's the key to success? Believe in yourself and do what it takes to get there.
Yeah. I think like it's all about who you're being every day, not necessarily what you're doing. And if people could make that shift, there would be a lot more successful people in the world.
All right. So we went over a lot of different things today, and you shared some amazing, heartwarming stories. Like, amazing stuff. And so many people out there are listening. They're excited. They're going to want to get to know you. They're going to want to follow you. And they're really going to want to know more about what you do.
Yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit about how they can reach you and how you can help them.
Yeah, so I have my own podcast called the Mommy Millionaire Podcast. You've been on it. So I give a lot of mindset tips over there and business tips. I'd love for people to check it out. Plus, if there's any women listening in right now, I also have the Millionaire Society, which is a membership program where I do live coaching in there. And it's a very low investment to be involved. I mean, people pay me thousands and thousands of dollars a year to talk to me and get coached by me. And I wanted to create something where if you're just, you know, you might not even have a business idea, but you just want to work on your mindset. I wanted you to be able to come in here and really radically change your life. And so that's what we're doing in the society. I talk about affirmations, but most of all, I just talk about how, you know, you can constantly change your identity.
Yeah. And guys, today's all about the power of positive mindset. You're talking about a group of strong, successful, powerful women that are working together to improve their lives.
Yep.
And they're looking for more women to join them on the mission of success. So thank you so much for tuning in to Life by Design. Again, I'm your host, Tarek Moussa, and I hope you enjoyed.